which is the case of input output function being given. So if you have this case, then there are two possibilities. First is that they will give you the precision points, and if they give you the precision points, we have to use these equations as we discussed in the last class, and first get theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 and phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, and then proceed as we did in case 1a. If they did not give you these precision points, first thing is you have to find the precision points using what is called Chebyshev spacing. So this is the formula which is called Chebyshev spacing for 3 precision points. So this is for x, and that is this is xj equals half of xf plus xs minus half of xf minus xs cosine 2j minus 1 pi over 6. So here j can vary from 1 to 3. If you put j equal to 1 here, you will get x1, and if you put 2, you will get x2. Same for x3. So first find x1, x2, x3, and then proceed as we did in the last case. Okay, these are the two possibilities in function generation. Now we will take a problem and see how this is done. So if you read the question, it says design a 4-bar mechanism to generate the function y equals x power 1.5 for the range of x between 1 and 4 using 3 precision points. Precision points of 1.2, 2.5 and 3.8. Now this is a clear case where you have been given the precision points. x1, x2, x3 are given. Length of the fixed link is 30 mm. For the input link, starting position is 30 degree and finishing at 120. For the output link, starting is 90 and finishing at 170. So let us do this problem to understand the method of finding the dimensions. So what is given to us is a function y equals x power 1.5. This is given. This range 1 to 4 means xs starting of x is at 1 and finishing of x is at 4. 3 precision points means x1 is 1.2, x2 is 2.5 and x3 is 3.8. For the input link, that means theta, they say starting of theta, theta s is 30 degree and ending of theta, that is theta final, is 120 degree. And for output link, this is phi, starting is 90 degree and phi finishes at 170 degree. So these are the data given. So since we have been given the values of x1, x2, x3, the first step is find theta 1 up to theta 3 and then phi 1 up to phi 3. So these 6 values we should first find. To this is the formula we will be using. So theta j, we said before, theta is for input and phi is for output. That means theta is for x and phi is for y. So let us use these numbers given here in this formula for theta first. So first let me say theta equal j equal to 1. So theta 1, I am using this formula here, which says theta s is 30 plus here theta f minus theta s. Theta f is 120 minus 30 over xf minus xs, that is 4 minus 1 times, now I am doing theta 1, so xj will be 1. So if I put j equal to 1, then I will get theta 1. So that means here x1 is 1.2 minus xs, that is 1. Now this is like saying x starting is 1, x final is 4. In between these two values, we are going to find these values of x1, x2, in x3. These are given. I'm sorry, it is not that we have to find, it is given already. x1, x2, x3 is given already. Okay, now what we are going to do is, given that theta s is 30 and theta f is 120, we are going to find three values of theta here. That is theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. This is given, this we are going to find. That's what we are doing now. So this will give you some value of theta. And then similarly, now put j equal to 2. So theta 2 will be, this is the same, this is the same. Now here, this is also the same. The only change will be here. Here we used x1. This is x1. Now if you use x2, that is 2.5 minus 1. So this will give you a theta 2 value. And finally theta 3. Put j equal to 3. You will have theta 3. Again, none of these things changes. The only change will be here. x3 I will put. x3 is given as 3.8. So this will be 3.8. So this will give you another value of theta. So we found all these theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 we have found already. Now we are going to do for phi. Next, so with this we complete theta. Now next finding phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. Same equation, not same equation, similar equation we will use for phi also. The only thing is, as I said, instead of x you will use y. That's the only difference. So phi are finding phi 1. Again put j equal to 1. That is phi 1 will be 5s plus y final minus y starting. Here is phi final minus phi starting times yj minus y starting. So that means we have to first find y1, y2, y3. We have been given the function y equals x power 1.5. This is the function given to us. So what will be y starting? Will be x starting power 1.5. This will be 1 power 1.5, which will be 1. What will be y final? X final power 1.5. That is 4 power 1.5. This will be 8. Okay, then what is y1? y1 will be x1 power 1.5. We have the number x1 was given to us as 1.2. Yes. So this will be 1.2 power 1.5. We'll get a number. y2 will be x2 power 1.5. That is 2.5 power 1.5. We'll have a number here. And then y3 will be x3 power 1.5. And that is x3 was 3.8. Yes. So 3.8 power 1.5. So we'll have a number. So now we have got this y1, y2, y3. When I do for phi 1, so this is not phi 1, this is phi j. When I do for phi 1, what I will write? Phi s is given as 90 degree plus yf is this number 8 minus ys is that number which is 1. So this number and this number, they come from here. Okay. And phi final is 170. So 170 minus 90 times. Now I am going to put j equal to 1. So when I put j equal to 1, I have y1, this number, whatever you have here, 1.2 over 1.5. 1.2 1.2 over 1.5. 1.314. So this number here is 1.314. So that 1.314 minus ys will be 1. So this gives you a value of phi 1. Similarly, proceed with phi 2 will be 90 plus 170 minus 90 over 8 minus 1. None of them will change. The change will be here. Now I am going to use y2. So y2 will be 2.5 power 1.5. This will be 3.952. This number is 3.95. that number I am going to make use here. And you get some value of 5, 2, and then for 5, 3 do the same thing, except that now you will write y3. Again, that y3 will be 3.8, 1.5 will be 7.407. Yes, 7.407 minus 1. So this will give you a value of phi 3. Now, when we finish this step, we have theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 known, and then phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 also known. So with these 6 data, now the problem is like case 1a, where you have been given all the values of theta and phi. And then after this step, proceed as we did in the last case, case 1a. For this problem, what we are doing now, the answers are given to you. A equals 13.1, B equal to 26.8, C equal 15.2. So these answers, this problem you can complete and then check your answers here. In this particular problem, they have given you the length of the fixed link as 30 millimeter. That means D will be 30 for this problem. So use that value of D. This is given. So use this value of D and find the A, B, C values and check the answers with what is given in the solution. Okay. The second type of mechanism synthesis is what is called rigid body guidance. As the name says, the idea here is we are going to guide a rigid body in whatever path we want it to go. That means if in a mechanism, for example, so this is the coupler. Okay, what I will do now here is I know what are the positions of the coupler. I want the coupler to be at this position now and later at this position and maybe sometime later like this. So 3 positions of the coupler will be given to us and we have to find the dimensions of the links to satisfy this requirement. This is what's called rigid body guidance. We are guiding this rigid body in a particular fashion. That is the idea of rigid body guidance. Okay, so we call that rigid body AB. This body is AB. Now it is in the first position. So we call it A1, B1. Now in the second position, it will be A2, B2. The third position will be A3, B3. One thing we have to always keep in mind is that this is a link. So what we have shown here is a link, and the length of this link can never change. Whatever be the configuration of the mechanism, the length of this particular coupler can never change. We discussed this in the last class. So whether you say A1, B1 or A2, B2 or A3, B3, you mean only one coupler, which is AB, whose length is constant, cannot change. Now to do that, before we do that, we have to know something. You should have done this in schools. You must have done this in schools. What this concept is called perpendicular bisector of a line. I have a line. The line can be any line. Let us say this is A and this is B. I want to draw a line perpendicular to this line, which will also bisect this. Bisect means which the line which I am going to draw should divide this line AB into exact equal parts. So that means I want to draw a line for AB. If this is AB, this B. If I draw a line like this, then this line is perpendicular. Now let me use another color for this line. So this line is perpendicular to the original line AB. Also, if you have a point O here, then AO will be equal to OB. So that means this red line, which is perpendicular to this line AB, will divide this AB into two exactly equal parts. That's the meaning of perpendicular bisector of a line. So this line is called perpendicular bisector for the line AB. But how to draw this line? The correct way to draw this line is keep your compass here, take any radius more than half of it. Of course, you don't need to measure the half distance. Just by eyes, just by looking at it, you can take a radius which is more than half. So, and take that as radius, keep your compass here and draw one arc or a circle, semicircle. Now use the same radius. Now come to B, keep it here and draw another arc like this. This, so you will get 2 points. These two arcs will cut here and cut here. Of course, I have not drawn it properly, but this is the way you should do it. And once you get these 2 points, connect these 2 points. Connect these 2 points, and you can extend it. So this is the line we call perpendicular bisector for this line. This is how you should draw this line. Take any radius more than half of the length, keep your compass here, draw an arc. With the same radius, come to B and draw another arc. They will meet at 2 points. Connect these 2 points and draw a line. So this red line is called perpendicular bisector of this line AB. Now this is the idea we will be using to do this problem. The procedure for doing this problem is as follows. We said we will be given three positions of the coupler. So in this case, A1, B1 is the position of the coupler in the first point in time. And sometime later, it has come here as A2, B2. After some more time, it has reached this position A3, B3. Again, I am saying A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3, they are actually different positions, but the length of the link cannot change. That means A1, B1 should be equal to A2, B2, should be equal to A3, B3. Okay, once you have these three positions, first what you will do is connect A1 with A2. This dotted line is line connecting A1 with A2. Once you connect these 2 points, you'll get this line and then draw a perpendicular bisector as we discussed now through this for this line A1, A2. Now connect A2 with A3. The other dotted line, this line is A2 with A3. After drawing this line, draw another perpendicular bisector for this line A2, A3. So the previous line was between A1, A2. Now we have drawn between A2, A3. So these two red lines, where they meet, we call that point A star, which represents one of the grounds. Because in a 4-bar mechanism, there are two places the ground is connecting. So first place is this, which we call A star. Now repeat the process for B. Connect B1 with B2. Draw a perpendicular bisector. Connect B2 with B3. Draw a perpendicular bisector. Where these two meet, that is called B star. So now we have got two ground links, A star and B star. After you get these two ground links, you can choose any one position and finish the mechanism. Because we have been given three positions now. You can choose any one position and then complete the dimensions of the mechanism. Okay, I will give you. We will see one example here now. So this is the mechanism. They say synthesize a 4-bar mechanism to guide the coupler AB of length 5 centimeters through the three positions as shown here. Let me take this to the whiteboard. The question says a coupler AB, that is AB means A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3, all are the same length, which is 5 centimeters. So this is the first position of the coupler, 0, 0, theta equal to 0. Here the coupler is in this position, 2, 1, angle of theta 2 is 45, and 2, 3, angle of theta 3 will be 60. So the first step, as we said, is connect A1 with A2 first. Okay, so let me draw a line, a blue line, which is between A1 and A2. Once I draw this line A1, A2, I have to draw a perpendicular bisector as we discussed now. So now let us assume that to do that, keep your compass here, take any radius more than half, draw an arc, use the same radius, and now keep it at A2 and draw another arc where these two meet, connect a line between these 2 points. This is for the line A1 and A2. Now do the same thing for A2, A3. In this particular problem, you can see here A2 is at 2, 1, A3 is 2, 3. Means the x-axis is the same, the x-coordinate is the same, 2, 2. That means these A2, A3 are vertical lines. So simply connect them vertically. Okay, once you do that, now since this line is vertical, we can simply, you don't need to do this procedure because it's a vertical line and the perpendicular line to the vertical line will be horizontal line. So at the middle of this line, you can mark a line. So this line is between A2, A3. So this is between A2, A3 and that is between A1 and A2. So where these two lines meet, this point is A star. That means this is one of the grounds. Now repeat the same thing for B. That means connect B1 with B2. B1, B2 is in the green line. Now draw bisector as we did before. Let me use another color. Using the same procedure, that means first keep your compass here, take a radius more than half of it, draw a circle, and then take this point as the center, same radius, draw another circle. So where they meet, you will have a line like this. This is between B1, B2. Now connect B2 with B3. Use a green line. Connect B2 with B3. Repeat the process. Now we'll get another line which goes like this. So this is between B2 and B3. So the earlier line which was drawn between B1 and B2 and this line which is now drawn between B2 and B3, they meet here. So this point is called B star. That means we have got these two ground points, A star, B star. Now after this, it depends on the problem. Either you can draw for the first position or the second position or the third position. This A star, B star are grounds, so they cannot change their position. It's always fixed. So if for example the question says use first position, then what you have to do, since they say first position, you have to go to A1, B1. Here is A1, B1. Okay, here is A1, B1. So connect A1 with A star. And B1 with B star. So now we have got A star to A1 we connected, B star to B1 we connected if you are using the first position. Then A1, B1 already given to us. This is given. So this A star, B star is the ground. A star, B star is the ground. This is always A star, B star is the ground. This means we have got the four links length of the four links. Of course, this is given as I think 50 centimeters in this problem. So you measure other lengths, and these are the dimensions we want. This is if you use the first position. Now, if the problem says use the second position, what you will do is you will connect A star with A2, B star with B2, and then again you have 4 links. Measure the length of the links, and then that will be the final answer. This completes this part 3. Please go through this this video, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the next class. I would advise you to draw this in a paper, in a graph paper. When you draw this, don't use any scales, just use it as it is and check what is the number you are getting.